Offer extended. Offer not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Call or click 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.
This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. You chose to be here. This is not by accident that you're here now and in this program. You want to take your performance to the highest level. You want to dominate. You physically work hard. Now that's important. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available to you. Not just for some, but for you to live it fully. You can do it too. Enjoy this journey. This program is your secret weapon. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio.
And Be a Beast is our secret weapon. This is Nelson, and I'm with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, bringing my own leadership, 29 years of business acumen and professional coaching into the mix. We want you calling us direct with any questions as you're trying to improve your performance. 888-888-2136 or text the word BEAST to 313131. If you're online, all you need to do is click through at extremefocus.com and we'll introduce you to our 12-step process from the locker room to the boardroom. It's about getting better.
Absolutely. And, you know, we've been introducing these key steps. It's setting your course. And now, you know, we're just going to keep diving deeper on this show so that you can be lifted up and know that that is within you. We're going to be diving into your belief system today. And going deeper on RESPA. And I got to share this story with you because in my own workouts, okay, now I'm a little bit older. I played professional tennis, went into endurance events, marathoning, 10Ks, now into cycling. And there's this, in Orange County, there's this ride that's nicknamed, you ready for this? The 7 Bitches of Laguna. The 7 Bitches of Laguna. And what that is, it's all climbing. It's 6,000 feet of climbing up grades that are greater than 20% over a 40-mile ride. It is intense. So I've been training to do this. I've gotten through 4 of the bitches. Haven't been able to hit all 7, but here's what's happening. I'm on a 20% grade. I'm up out of my saddle. I'm on those pedals, and I'm pounding 1 pedal stroke at a time. My heart feels like it's jumping out of its throat. My mind is saying, stop. You physically can't do more. You're anaerobic. You're taxed. And I went right to RESPA. And it was that relax, evaluate, strategize, patience, and then act. And just by that trigger word, that crocodile, I noticed physically what happened. My grip on the handlebars relaxed. My shoulders let down. My breathing became more methodical instead of chasing for air. And it was exactly what we're coaching, whether that's in the boardroom or on the field of play. That's what we're coaching with these name triggers and the various animals. Well, I love that you had that experience, and you're 4 bitches ahead of me. but it works in every aspect. When you shift, you have that moment. You could have gone to panic, and that would have shut you down. It would have made you squeeze harder, would have made you breathe shorter. Instead, you RESPA, you breathe deeper, you relaxed, and then that pushed you through to the top. And you can do that in everything that you do. You know, the movie Chasing Mavericks, I mean, that's amazing. They're surfing the biggest, gnarly surf out there. And they talked about in that moment when you're being washed around under those big waves, you know, if you let panic set in, you're gone. You've got to completely RESPA, and that's how you get through that. And so that's the extreme case of life and death in RESPA. But it doesn't matter if it's life and death. In your business, just performing better, when you allow yourself to take that moment to relax so that you can evaluate, then strategize. Patience is a big one. Many times I RESA. I leave P out there because I'm, you know, and that's a big one. But then when you act, you can act with such commitment, and your action is so much stronger.
You're listening to Be a Beast with Dave Austin, mental performance coach. I'm Nelson. You can reach us direct, 888-888-2136, or if you're on the web, click through at extremefocus.com, or even simpler yet, Dave, text the word BEAST to 31, 31, 31. You know, I was reflecting back on my tennis career, and I spent the majority of my time trying to break into that Grand Prix level. But I remember at one of the pre-Wimbledon tournaments, I was playing a Spanish player, ranked 39 in the world. I had just established my professional ranking or my international ranking. I was, let's just say, below 39 in the world. And it was that moment where I won the first set, battled my way up into the second set, got to match point, and I think I was squeezing the grip of my tennis racket down from 4 5/8 to 3 7/8. If I then had been equipped with RESPA, where I could go, all right, this is match point, relax, evaluate, strategize, patience, and then execute, I think I would have not launched the ball from Nottingham over to Eastbourne and lost that match.
Well, you know, I hate to say how much I can relate to that because, as you know, we both played professional tennis, and I had those moments too. It's what we, you know, that's the gift now that we can pass this on to others. I later in life, when I was, 50, decided to go out and play the senior tour, and I started using these principles, and I became number one. And I couldn't get myself there on the professional tour because I didn't know these principles back then. I was out there doing my best I possibly could. But when you learn to apply them, and now I'm learning to apply them to everything in my life, the business, to everything that we do. Oh my gosh, you win those points. You win those championships. Let me give you your Wimbledon trophy now.
I'm still looking for it. And I think that's where performance, it crosses over. We're not just talking about athletic performance, although we work with some of the top athletes in all different sports around the world. And we're not specifically talking about business performance or only business performance as far as you're in the boardroom or you're in that sales presentation. It's much broader than that, performance in all scopes.
Oh, absolutely. And our guest today, who is a three-time, gold medalist.
Yeah.
She's a mom, too. So she takes everything that she's done and crosses over now. She's a super mom.
She is a super mom, and her accolades, I mean, I'm telling you, she's done more on the international level than I ever hoped or dreamed of. I think she's going to be a fantastic guest. You're listening to Be a Beast on Nelson Radio with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, my own experience, 29 years in the boardroom and professional coaching in the ranks of tennis, having a world ranking like you as well. We want you to contact us direct, 888-888-2136. We're going to be going through RESPA in more detail, learning how that impacted Leah's life in her athletic career, and also bringing Roger Anthony back with us out of the bush to talk to us a little bit more detailed on RESPA and what to do. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or you can click through at extremefocus.com or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. As we do with each show, we're going to showcase an up-and-coming artist. We've got, listen to this, a little Christmas music with Brianna Noel. You'll be listening to that. And Leah O'Brien, three-time gold medalist, coming up next. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio spends a lot of time vetting out true professionals. Insurance Inc. is one of our best. Cutting premiums up to 40%. Insurance Inc. We want you to contact them direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or go to insuranceinc.com.
What can $50 do? With a donation of $50, you can impact the life of a child today in Bulgaria, the poorest nation in the European Union, with one of the highest percentages of human trafficking in Europe. Click and donate today to satesi.org, and your giving heart will make a huge difference in the life of a young Bulgarian boy or girl. That's CEITCI.org. Impact the world and care for Bulgarian children at risk with so little. Donate today at satesi.org. That's CEITCI.org.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136 or text BEAST to 313131. This is Be a Beast, the 12-step process to improve your performance, with myself, Nelson, and the mental performance coach of the ages, Dave Austin. We're going to be going to a great segment here, and this is where the rubber meets the road as we bring in our next guest, the Be a Beast alumni. Dave, tell us a little bit about Leah.
Oh, Leah O'Brien is, I just love her because not only because of her success on the field, but who she is off the field. And let me tell you just a little bit about what she's done on the field. 3-time Olympic gold medalist in USA softball, 2-time world champion, 2-time Pan American Games champion, 3 times NCAA national champion for the University of Arizona, holds the Women's College World Series record for batting average in a single tournament, hitting, listen to this, 750. I mean, that's unbelievable. She's also a mom. She does so much in her community. She's a perfect guest for Be a Beast.
Leah O'Brien, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be on the show.
I got to tell you, this is a little bit humbling for me to say, but my 3 golds came from my dentist, and the only thing I've done that represents 750 is my IQ, so I don't know what else to say.
Well, I get silver in my teeth, so I got to get gold on the field.
So we're talking about, the RESPA, and just in that moment, and I wanted to ask you, before we get into the details on that, just in terms of this managing your belief system, and that seems so broad and general to most, and I want you just to dive deeper on what that means as you've applied that in your sports world, in your athletic world, and also in your personal life.
Well, I feel like, first of all, there's a purpose behind whatever we're doing on the field, off the field. But when I was an athlete on the field, that focus, that purpose, everything that you did, the repetitions, the daily practice, the focus that went with it. There was always a bigger picture down the road, a goal that was being set, but it was the little things that were happening in that moment. And you talk about the belief system, I think back to when I played and the successes I had, but I think back to the steps and how, I think any athlete, any great anybody who's been successful in any aspect of life, it's not always the good. Anyone can have a smile on your face when things are going well, but it actually was the challenges, the battles, the overcoming those things that I feel like eventually made me the elite athlete. But one more thing, the belief system, it has to start with truly believing you're capable, you can go out and make these things happen, and you can be the very best.
Well, I love it. You're a great example of it. And, we all have that capability to bring out the genius, whatever that is in us, but we block it. Somehow, you were, in your mission or your journey, you were able to get through, and every time you had a roadblock, you turned it into your advantage.
Well, and she said it perfectly, Dave. You have to have a North Star that you're navigating towards. Otherwise, the journey along the way, it does have those things that get in the way, whether that's pain-induced physical issues or the mental trauma that you go through, or just in those cycles, as we all experience, those cycles where things just simply aren't going right. And I think that leads perfectly to what we've been focusing on with RESPA the crocodile.
Right. Leah, RESPA is relax, evaluate, then you strategize, patience, and act. And when you put all those together, you can play at your highest level. And I know, can you give us an example of where that kind of maybe triggered in for you?
Well, I think that every aspect of that is so important. And I think back again to when I was playing, or even athletes now, that I try to transfer and translate what my success is and kind of how I got there. And I think that first key, when I hear the word relax, I think the tendency is for us to stress out, to when things are hard, when the biggest challenges come towards us, and on the field or off the field. And so just that alone allows you to think clearly, and you can do it quicker, because in that relaxing, you can go to that evaluating, you can strategize, you can take those next steps. And for me, and I feel like, again, when I had that 750 batting average, those things were coming more naturally. When things were a little bit harder, I had to kind of remind myself to get into that mode. And so sometimes it's going to happen on its own. Other times you got to really go through those processes and mentally acknowledge, this is where I need to be. I got to make myself get there.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. You can reach us direct. Leah O'Brien, 3-time gold Olympic medalist. 888-888-2136, or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. I wanted to ask you, Leah, in terms of limitations, and the majority of them, in my opinion, are self-imposed, those self-imposed governors of, oh, gosh, I can't hit 750, I only can hit 650 in your case, or, or some other extreme. But how do you get over those self-imposed limitations?
Well, I think you have to, it really comes from the battle within, because, you're going to have a lot of obstacles. You're going to have a lot of outside things that are going against you. And ultimately, it's a lot of people want to give up when things get the hardest. And maybe they actually buy into, you know what, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I don't have it in me. Whereas I think those that rise to the top truly are the ones that just say, I'm going to find a way. Maybe that difference, maybe everyone has it in them, but it's those that actually say, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to stop now. Because once you overcome that hurdle and that challenge, you find, I think of when I played, and I had, every time it was something different that I was doing when I was hitting, when I, start struggling. Well, now I was back and I'm like, man, I made all these adjustments over all these years. I have a lot to offer to the next kid who's struggling. And so really finding out what works, and sometimes it's going to be different things, but it's finding a way.
Leah O'Brien, thanks for being with us. You're listening to Be a Beast on Nelson Radio with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, myself, business leader and coach. Contact us direct, 888-888-2136, or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. From the locker room to the boardroom, we'll guide you to success and to perform like a beast. We'll be right back. We've got Roger Anthony coming up. We're going to dive deeper on RESPA the crocodile. Stay with us. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio spends a lot of time vetting out true professionals. Insurance Inc. is one of our best. Cutting premiums up to 40%. Insurance Inc. We want you to contact them direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or go to insuranceinc.com.
What can $50 do? With a donation of $50, you can impact the life of a child today in Bulgaria, the poorest nation in the European Union, with one of the highest percentages of human trafficking in Europe. Click and donate today to satesi.org, and your giving heart will make a huge difference in the life of a young Bulgarian boy or girl. That's CEITCI.org. Impact the world and care for Bulgarian children at risk with so little. Donate today at satesi.org. That's CEITCI.org.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136, or text BEAST to 313131.
Friends with the monster that's under my bed. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy.
And this is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio with myself, Nelson, and Dave Austin, mental performance coach. Throughout this show, you gotta give us a call. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or text the word BEAST to 313131, or find out more details by clicking through at extremefocus.com. I'm always excited, Dave, as we head to Australia with Roger Anthony.
He's the best. I mean, we always pull him out of the bush to bring another one part of his learning anchor system. It's an unprecedented results out there. His experience with the crocodile training program, 92% average recall rate. Now, compared to the industry average is 14%. So, Roger introduced to us on the very first show, RESPA the crocodile, and we've got such a great response to that. We want to go deeper. We want to hear more about RESPA. We've talked about it already again today on today's show, about our personal experience. But Roger, can you take us a little deeper on RESPA?
It'd be my pleasure, mate, now that I'm out of the bush and got the leeches off me. So let's give that a go. I think it'd be interesting to tell the story as to how I came up with the crocodile to put forward to the world this principle of personal mastery. It's a complete system. And it came out of some research that was done many years ago when a group of researchers were filming what's called a raft of crocodiles. And in a particular environment in the wild, the crocodile that heads up the raft, that's in control of a particular environment, is called a king crocodile. So king crocodile is always the male crocodile, and he is in control. This particular raft of crocodiles had not eaten for 3 months. So we know they were hungry. And the researchers were amazed to watch the events that unfolded over the next 14 days. The crocodile, this particular morning, slid into the water, the king croc, the other stayed on the bank, and researchers estimated that the wildebeest must be on their way back from their migratory trek. And true to the inspiration and the actual sensitivity of the crocodile, the next morning the wildebeest came in on the other side of the lagoon. Now, instead of the king croc, as hungry as he was, rushing in to go for one of the wildebeest, he literally lay there for the first 24 hours. Now, a crocodile can get its heartbeat down to about 3 beats a minute in a relaxed state. So the R in RESPA is relax, as we spoke about last time. And the next morning, he started to drift. He just looked like a log. The wildebeests were a little flighty. They knew there were crocodiles in that lagoon, and they were on guard. And the crocodile knew that they knew he was there. So he had this incredible game plan or principle of mastery that helped the crocodiles outlive the dinosaurs. So the next day, he began floating, and he only went about 30 or 40 feet. To cut the story short, it took him around 14 days, to get across to the other side of the lagoon. And that's when he took hold of the lead wildebeest. Now, when you think about it, and as we apply it in life, let's go over what RESPA stands for and what we learned from the greatest survivor known to mankind, the crocodile. Number one, under all circumstances, no matter what happens, in the boardroom, with our clients, on the field, you can never lose by learning to relax. Relax places us in a position to be way more creative. Number two, you then evaluate the situation because you got the facts for how they really are, because you are in a relaxed state and you're seeing things the way they really are. Number three is lay out your strategy. Number four, have patience. And number five, then act.
Roger, give us an example of, you've worked with business leaders from around the world. You've worked with sports performers throughout the world. Give us an example where that RESPA jumps in and applies.
Wonderful. We're working with an organization at the moment, privately held organization. It's about $2.3 billion. And they called me in to help them with 2 sales teams in a particular division. This division was in the sporting arena, and they weren't able to reach their budgets for 5 years in a row. So we took them through the crocodile training program, and they adopted RESPA. They use RESPA in all of their meetings. They use it when a prospective client turns them down, or when there's conflict about to happen or is already occurring. And they are literally testifying that RESPA has brought them from the number 4th sales team in this large organization. Now, for 2 years in a row, they've broken all sales records, and they're the number 1 sales division in that organization. And they put it all down to, most of it down to, being able to RESPA their lives with one another to build a strong, synergistic, cooperative team, and with their clients. Their sales have just gone through the roof when they adopted RESPA as their foundational principle.
And Dave, I think that's what's so insightful about having these trigger animals that can snap us back into relax, evaluate, strategize, patience, act, because we're all in those environments where things can go awry.
Well, we've already talked about it. You know, in that moment, you either panic or you RESPA. Choose the one that you want to, be. Which is going to work better for you, panic mode or RESPA mode?
Roger, thanks for being with us. Dave, as we close out this segment, I want to make certain that we pay attention, as we always do, to giving back. Operation Homefront is who we've been showcasing as we move into the holidays here. Let me just give you a brief introduction. It's a collaboration of institutional banks that are taking the tragedy of the Great Recession, owning so many homes that were given back or foreclosed on, now rehabbing those homes, awarding those to returning veterans, wounded warriors, those military families. The agreement is this: they maintain the property, they take care of taxes and insurance, and at the end of a 12 to 18-month period, that home is awarded as a gesture of thanks to that family, free and clear.
I love it. I mean, that's, again, we keep saying this, it's turning a negative into a positive. Every time you can do that, everyone at home listening to this, when you have those moments that looks negative, RESPA and turn it into a positive.
And that's exactly what this show does. With Be a Beast on Nelson Radio, you've been listening to myself, Nelson, a 29-year business veteran and professional coach, Dave Austin, performance coach. You can reach us direct. 888-888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com, or easier yet, to improve your performance from the boardroom to the locker room, you can text the word BEAST to 313131. We'll be back next week with how to improve your performance.
I love it.
Offer extended. Offer not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Call or click 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.